Hello, welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I am Kevin Smith. These are the top stories we're tracking. World Bank and Chatham House reps had called publishing oil contracts a bad idea, says former presidential advisor. Strategic consultations being carried out on draft local content policy. Submission of comments gets extended deadline, and Linden nurses continue to bar CEO from entering office. Meanwhile, energy strategist says local sensitization is vital to Guyana's gas to shore project. Do stay tuned.
Public Advisory. GPL is coming to you. The Guyana Power and Light Inc. wishes to advise our valued customers within the Providence community and neighboring environs that GPL will be hosting a community outreach on Saturday, March 13th, 2021 at Massey Stores, Providence, East Bank, Demerara from 9 hours to 1400 hours. Residents are encouraged to come with their questions or queries regarding GPL bill or any other GPL related matters, as GPL's competent staff will be on site to assist customers at the point of their need. Hashtag GPL is on the move. For more information, call GPL's call center on 226-2600 or contact GPL's Public Relations Unit on 225-1471.
GPL Public Advisory. Major plant maintenance for Wednesday, March 10, 2021 on the east coast of Demerara from Unity to Bijafal from 9 hours to 15 hours. The reason for this outage, transfer high voltage mains and line hardware to 17 new 14-meter poles and remove old poles. Major plant maintenance also for Berbice in Blackbush Polder from 10 hours to 16 hours. Reason for this outage, transfer high voltage mains and line hardware to 5 new 12-meter poles, replace 7 cross arms and pole top pins, service high voltage jumpers and remove vegetation. Weekly plant maintenance allows for routine inspection and maintenance of the network to provide customers with a reliable supply of electricity. GPL, empowering you. And now for the news in detail. Former presidential advisor on petroleum, Dr. Jan Mangal, said that representatives from Chatham House and the World Bank told him it was a bad idea to publish the contract signed with international oil companies for the rights to operate their respective blocks in Guyana. The comment is included in a public LinkedIn post by Dr. Mangal. The World Bank is Guyana's development partner for many years, and Chatham House is a policy institute which at times assists governments. Dr. Mangal reported finding it quite surprising that representatives from these institutions would advise against transparency. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Natural Resources has disclosed that it is undertaking a series of strategic stakeholders consultations to advance the development of the draft local content policy. These strategic discussions commenced on March 3rd and will conclude on March 19th. During this extended period of discussions, the ministry said that comments are welcomed regarding all matters addressed under the policy's vision, mission, and objectives. And now let's tell you, it has been over 1 week that nurses attached to the Linden Hospital complex have continued to strike against the decision by the Ministry of Health to have CEO Rudy Small return to his post 1 day after removing him. In addition to protesting and blocking Small from entering his office, nurses have moved a step further by blocking him from entering the office of the administrative manager, where he was working from instead. Other administrative employees have been barred from their offices as well. The nurses remain adamant that they will not let up until Small is removed. Unconfirmed reports have surfaced that plans are in the pipeline to send Small to the Kwakwani Hospital, but nurses and regional officials say that they don't want him there either. They want him out of Region 10. Meanwhile, one key factor to ensuring that Guyana's gas to shore project is executed without a hitch is to ensure that the local populace is fully aware of the impacts that it is likely to have on the environment and country at large. This was opined by Vice President and Energy Strategist Roger Cronenberg. Since the announcement of the project, there has been much discussion on the environmental impact which it may have. This is taking into consideration the fact that the governing administration identified Wales as the ideal site to set up the onshore facility without first conducting an environmental impact assessment. Studies were expected to be conducted soon, according to government. And moving on, was on Monday admitted to the West Demerara Regional Hospital with injuries to his left leg after his motorcycle collided with a car on the Good Intent Public Road, West Bank Demerara. The accident occurred around 17 hours 15. According to police reports, the driver, Paul Daniels, said that he was heading south along the eastern carriageway of the potential public road when he stopped to turn right. His car then ended up colliding with the motorcycle that was heading north on the western carriageway of the road at the same time. No trace of alcohol was found in the driver's breathalyzer result. However, he was taken into custody where he's assisting with investigations. It is now 12 hours 7 in Guyana. We will return with more news after the break.
Guyana, please join me on the Glenn Lal Show, 99.1, 99.5, Kaieteur Radio, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast of the next day at 11 a.m. just in case you missed that program.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal described the budget case filed by APNU-AFC parliamentarian David Patterson as useless and requested its dismissal. Nandlal reiterated the government's plea of the doctrine of necessity as the basis of the passage of the 2020 emergency budget. And moving on, Guyana has been made famous for its high-quality crude, coupled with how cheap it is to produce it. This makes Guyana a prized crown for any to behold. And now the former EPA director, Dr. Vincent Adams, is saying that ExxonMobil needs Guyana more than the country needs them, especially now that the oil company is facing some financial challenges. Dr. Adams underscored the need for Guyana to stop being intimidated by ExxonMobil and demand favorable terms, as the company's standing in the future is highly dependent on the successful outcome of its project here. And interesting news, labeled as the world's greatest show of human brilliance and achievement, the Dubai Expo 2020, which is slated for later this year, will see Guyana participating. The country will be partaking under the theme Home of Nature, Land of Opportunities. According to a release issued by the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, the expo will run for 173 days from October 1st, 2021 to March 31st, 2022, and will be featuring food, music, technology, art, science, culture, and numerous live events. The Dubai Expo is expected to attract participants from over 200 countries and companies and over 25 million visitors. With this, Guyana will use the opportunity to market its tourism product and investment opportunities, and also to highlight its culture during a planned National Day. And on that note, let's tell you a car thief's ride in a stolen Toyota 4Runner SUV on Monday was short-lived after he was chased into a trench along Ganges Road, Sophia, by a taxi driver. The 23-year-old car thief of Pike Street, Sophia, was apprehended sometime around 14 hours 35. The taxi driver recalled that he was driving through Prashad Nagar, Georgetown, and picked up an elderly woman who was pointing to an SUV that was speeding away from them. The man went on to say that he sped off behind the woman's SUV and gave chase for about half an hour. And moving on, the Ministry of Finance will today formally hand over to NBS the relevant approvals necessary to cater for the increase in the ceiling applicable to mortgages granted by the financial institution. The move, according to the Ministry of Finance, is in keeping with government's continued effort to increase access to mortgage financing for prospective homeowners, as well as expand the housing drive countrywide. The announcement had initially been made during his Budget 2021 presentation in February last. With the time moving on to 12 hours 11, time for your COVID-19 update. Along with a total of 33 new COVID-19 cases documented yesterday, Guyana also recorded its 204th COVID-19 death. The latest death is a 76-year-old man from Region 4. According to the Health Ministry, the new case takes the nation's overall number of confirmed cases to 8,847. The Health Ministry also noted that Region 4 recorded the majority of new cases, with Region with 19, and Region 3 recorded 7 new cases. Region 1 has 1 new, while Regions 2, 5, and 6 recorded 2 cases each. Meanwhile, 400 patients remain in home isolation, 36 patients are in institutional isolation, and 7 patients are in the COVID-19 ICU. And coming from CNN, the House is slated to hold a final vote today on President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief plan. If it passes, it will be sent to the White House to be signed into law. The package includes up to $1,400 stimulus checks for some Americans and extends pandemic unemployment benefits and will send billions of dollars in aid to states and municipalities. And coming from Worldometer, the number of worldwide coronavirus cases has reached 180.3 million, with deaths at 2.6 million and recovery cases at 94 million. And that brings us to the end of today's news at noon. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.